Afternoon. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. My name is Leon Jones. Today is Thursday, November 10th, 2016. You can tune into the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Guest calling number is 215-383-5785. If you like my videos, please subscribe to the channel so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. And on this channel, I don't take any donations. If I need any equipment such as microphones, mixers, I've already gotten that. And I'm one channel that's going to give you free information so it'll help you become more aware of what's going on around you, information that you're not going to get in the mainstream media. On this channel, we don't engage in any controversial issues or debates, nor do we participate in any drama or unnecessary bickering. Again, this channel is strictly for educational purposes, so we'd like to keep everything positive and respectful. And if you have a channel or business that you would like for me to shout you out over the air, just email me at lej6521@gmail.com. Leave a comment in the comment section. Make sure your comments are pithy. No bloviating or pettifogging. Now on to this afternoon's topic. We'll get right back into the business sector. The election is concluded. So the topic of this video is how to obtain a minority business certification. How to obtain a minority business certification for your small business. Now, when I mean minority business certification, I'm talking about certifications for businesses that are disadvantaged. They can't compete head-to-head with larger corporations. And it's very important because small business is the backbone of America. In fact, small business creates 60% of the jobs. Let me repeat that factor for you. Small business creates 60% of the jobs in this country. It's a high number. And the new wave of economics starting here in 2016 is going to be building a small business. You want a community, you have to be well off economically, because businesses can be good cancer when you own something. That's why I stress entrepreneurship. Now, that being said, why should you become certified as a small business? I can tell you from my experience, you get an advantage when you're certified. Now, there are different certifications out there. The easiest one to get, if you are looking to start off with bidding projects. Now, in Indiana, it's very easy. It's called the DBE certification. It stands for Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. Now, what you do with that certification is you try to get transportation projects. We're talking about highway projects, LPA projects, which LPA is local projects, city projects, municipal projects. You're dealing with construction projects. What happens is the Federal Highway Administration has a lot of money, and what they do, they send it to states. States take that money and they utilize it, of course, for transportation and infrastructure projects. As a DBE, you can get some of that money. In fact, 30 to 40% of the monies are divvied out for minority projects. Now, with a contract for a DBE certification, the amount of money depends on the contract, but it's usually 8%. Let me give you an example. If I'm bidding for a subcontracting job and a contractor has $200,000 of work, I can get 8% of that $200,000. Might not seem like a lot of money, but when you're starting out, that can be a heck of a lot of money. And that also depends on the duration of the project. When you obtain a DBE certification, you want short projects. Basically, a streetscape project or a paving project. And I'm just utilizing this as being an engineer, talking about engineering services. You want contractual services such as wiring, well, you get a lot more money. But having a DBE certification is very important because you don't need to have any money. All you have to do is show that you are disadvantaged. There's a lot of paperwork to go through. This video would be very long, so I'm just giving you an overview on some of the certifications that you can get. That's the DBE. Next one is an MBE and a WBE, Minority Business Enterprise and a Woman Business Enterprise. Same thing. The only difference is here in Indiana, it's more into procurement, and you can utilize that same certification for construction projects. Usually that gives you, it could go up to 15%. 15% for MBE, 8% for WBE. MBE, again, is Minority Business Enterprise. WBE is Woman Business Enterprise. Some states have SBE, that's known as Small Business Enterprise. Here in Indiana, we don't have SBE, but a veteran. You can get into the certification game as well with a veteran business enterprise. Here in Indiana, we have IVBE. That stands for Indiana Veteran Business Enterprise. It's less work. The one that you can get, you have to sign up with the VA. It's called you get what they call a disadvantaged small veteran-owned business, and you get a veteran-owned small business. The paperwork for getting that certification, it is a lot of work. You may have to get some help to get that certification. But once you have it, it can transfer right into getting a state-owned business certification. Now, the certifications I've already given you, the DBE, the MWBE, and the Indiana Veteran-Owned Business, they're all for state projects. And state projects could be, you could have a basket weaving company and get certified as a business. Now, your regular veteran-owned, that is for federal jobs. You have your 8A, and in some areas, you have Hub Zone. Hub Zone stands for Historically Underutilized Business Zone. And the areas that I can point out here in Indiana, Gary, Indiana is one proxy, and Michigan City, Indiana. Those are good certifications to have. However, your office has to be in those localities. That's another certification that is a tough one to get. Getting these certifications doesn't guarantee you a bid, but it gives you the marketing power. Because when you deal with construction contracts, there is a minority goal. It's supposed to encourage minorities who are in business to become subcontractors, and once they get experience as a subcontractor, they can become prime contractors. You must fill out all the paperwork. And that's the biggest item of tediousness is the paperwork, because you have to start off with company bylaws, bank reconciliations, 3 years of tax returns. Now, when you get your DBE, the 3 years of tax returns can be your own personal tax returns. And on my Blog Talk Radio, I'm going to go through the notions of how you can utilize the checklist from the form to get all your paperwork together. Good thing about paperwork is you can always make a copy, because all of the information from your DBE will transfer to your, and it just depends on what state, your MWBE and your veteran owned. I have 3 certifications. I did a lot of the paperwork. Now, question is, how long does it take all this to matriculate? Usually, if everything is done right, it takes 90 days, good 90 days. For the MWBE, it took me 150 days, which is 5 months. That's because they didn't have enough staff to process all the information. But once you get all of your certifications, they're good for 2 to 3 years on the state level. Know your 8A, not only is that good for a long time, you're actually being mentored to become a federal contractor. That's what they want you to do. It's like 9 years. It's good certification. Now, a point of caution for a lot of these certifications, particularly your DBE. Your DBE, you don't want to make any more than $24 million in 3 years. So if you make $27 million, you no longer qualify for that program. Now, what you do to obtain these certifications, make sure you have an office. You can have a cubicle, but they're going to do an office visit. They're going to ask you questions to make sure that you are in the business that's going to help the market. You don't have to make money right away. Make sure you have a website. They're going to check that. Want to make sure everything is legitimized. You're going to check your resume. I'm just giving you some bits and pieces, because you could be there when they come visit your site for 3 hours. Make sure you keep a copy of everything. Paperwork in order is crucial, because it is a long process. And a number of people aren't willing to do the work. The work is very simple. Keep everything organized. It's much easier for you when you are a LLC, because you don't have as much tedious paperwork. When you are a company, you got to have corporate bylaws. I'm a company. They have all the corporate bylaws. But the certifications can also get you in the fold of networking. And it's not just for construction. You have procurement opportunities. You have manufacturing opportunities. But nevertheless, being a minority, if you utilize it right, and this is not an affirmative action program. It's just monies that the government saves for disadvantaged businesses. That's what it is. Again, everything is not based off of being a minority. It does help, but we also have veterans. And those certifications, when you have them, it actually makes the playing field fair, because in the construction aspect, they have to meet a DBE goal. It could be 7%, it could be 9%, just depends on what the project calls for. But nevertheless, getting in through the DBE program will help you amass a lot of opportunities. But the bottom line, you have to have the desire and the motivation to do it. This video is just an overview on the types of certifications. So if you like the video, utilize this information for educational purposes. But at the end of the day, I still believe that entrepreneurship is going to be key to a successful economy. If you want to know more about the certifications, go right to the Federal Highway Administration or your State Department of Transportation. Even look up minority business enterprises. There's a lot of information out there. Look up for the veteran certifications as well. The videos that will give you more of the elaborate information, because again, this is an overview. So that being said, thank you for watching. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. Until next time, my name is Leon Jones. Just remember, be gentle and respectful to each other, and have a wonderful and blessed afternoon.